Hello drama students, I hope you had a wonderful weekend and now we're getting ready to start our 4th week of school. I can't believe it, it's been so fast. Anyway, your assignments this week are not as many, so hopefully you'll have a lot of fun working on them. We are not doing any bell work this week, so there will be no writing prompts at all. You will not be going into your theater arts book and looking for writing prompts because we are starting our monologue, and the monologue did not have writing prompts that went with it. So this is something separate from our theater workbook. However, we will be using page 24 again for the peer evaluations, because what I want you to do is watch the monologues, there are 4 of them, from last year, because I want you to kind of look at what kids were doing and evaluate their performances. So in your Google Slides assignment are links to those monologues, and then you'll be filling out the peer evaluation form. I've uploaded that also as a separate Google Doc, so you can just fill it out right in Google Classroom, or you can fill it out in your workbook and then take a screenshot and send it to me. So every week it's very important that you watch this video and that you also go to your SAA assignments. And this week your SAA assignments are for 921 to 925. Once you go into your assignments for this week, it's important to go through your Google Slides, and those are drama class weekly work 921 to 925. I need you to go through those slides and read them all carefully. Again, there are no writing prompts this week. You'll be turning in a peer evaluation form for the videos of the monologues, the student monologues from last year, and then you are going to be doing a second lesson on preparing your own original monologue. So this week it's called Preparing, make sure I say it right, for my own monologue, original monologue, lesson 2. That's the document you're going to be filling out this week. If you didn't fill out the Preparing for My Own Original Monologue last week, that was lesson 1. I didn't call it lesson 1, but that was lesson 1. That needs to be done, because what you do from lesson 1 carries over to lesson 2, and then to lesson 3 and lesson 4, and so on. We are going to be writing our own monologues. So this week, what you're going to be doing with that Preparing for My Own Original Monologue lesson 2 is looking over a monologue called Henrietta, and you're going to be evaluating that monologue and looking at the beginning of the monologue and what the ideas were presented in the beginning of the Henrietta monologue. You're going to be looking at the middle of the monologue and what details come in the middle of the monologue. Then you're going to be talking about the climax, what's the big thing that happens, or something very dramatic that takes a turn in the monologue. And then again, at the very end, we're going to talk about the resolution or the final conclusion of the monologue. Because when you write your own monologue, you're going to have those things as well. You're going to have a beginning, a middle, a climax, and a conclusion. So I wanted you to look at a monologue that was already written and kind of analyze it. And then at the very bottom of your Preparation for My Own Original Monologue lesson 2 is a outline. So you are going to be writing in the outline for the monologue that you are going to create. Now, what is this monologue that you're going to be creating? It's the monologue based on the inspirational slide that you chose last week. So if you chose the skater person, the skateboarder, you're going to be writing a monologue about that skateboarder. If you chose the baseball kid, you're going to be writing a monologue about that baseball kid. If you chose the girl who was sad and crying, or you chose the girl at the bus stop, those were very popular ones. So you're going to be creating a monologue based on that image that you chose. We had a couple duplicates, and that's just fine, because I know you're not going to write the same monologue. So it's important that you finished lesson 1, which isn't called lesson 1, it was just Preparation for My Own Original Monologue, that was assigned last week. Some of those did not get turned into me. So make sure you can turn that in this week. And then you're gonna do lesson 2 as well this week if you didn't do it last week, because we gotta get on top of these assignments. Okay, so that brings me to my next point, which is some assignments are not getting turned in. And I don't know if you're having trouble in Google Classroom, if you're completing the assignments and then not submitting them, if you're just not doing them. But if I'm not getting them, I am letting you know by making a comment and returning it with a 0. So if that doesn't get changed, if I don't get a resubmission of that assignment, that will remain a 0 in your grades. So if you're at school and you see a 0, talk to your core teachers or ask Mr. Brett what's going on with Google Classroom. But this is the only way I can grade you. Some of you are really great about messaging me. Natalie sent me several messages on Friday and did a fabulous job. She got 150, I believe, out of 150. She got a perfect score, but she was asking questions and I was responding to her. So I really like it when you ask me questions, because then I know at least you're trying. If I don't get a question, I don't get an email, I don't get a message, and then nothing gets turned in, then I'm at a loss. I don't know what to give you, okay? So another way you can message me is on my Google phone number, 500-4227. Mr. Nick Bailey likes to message me that way, and some of his photos didn't come through very good in Google Classroom, so he just sent me a screenshot on the phone number. Again, that's a backup to turning it in Google Classroom. But again, if I see someone is making an effort and trying to reach me, that lets me know that you're doing the work and that you're trying, and I can help you. All right, so finally, let's see, I'm just seeing if there's anything else. Oh, once you've completed that lesson 2, that preparing for my original monologue lesson 2, those are your only assignments for this week. So in your extra slides, you may begin writing your monologue. And what I want you to do is simply start writing from your heart, writing from your imagination. Look at that Google slide. Remember to think about the details that your character might say. What kind of voice do they have? What kind of words and sentences do they use? It's important that you think about who are they talking to, because when you're doing a monologue, you're talking to somebody. Sometimes you're talking to yourself or the audience, but I really think it goes better when you have a specific person, like a friend or a teacher or a parent that you're pretending to talk to in your monologue. Remember, the picture was an inspiration. You don't actually have to have the monologue take place right at that bus stop or in the baseball mound or whatever. You can be that person, but then you can write a monologue about them talking to their parent at home later that day, or making a phone call and talking to their best friend. So really use that as an inspiration, but don't let it limit you, okay? And again, you're going to be using the first person, meaning you're going to be saying I, not she or he, as you write your monologue. Then later next month, we're going to be having a virtual monologue performance of all these monologues. So we're going to be writing those over the next couple weeks, and hopefully I'll be able to Zoom with you one-on-one so I can help you with your monologue performance. But for now, you have the peer evaluation of the student monologues from last year, so you could kind of look over what a monologue looks like. And then the number 2 thing is turning in that preparation for my original monologue lesson 2. All right, guys, get all your work in this week. Let me know if you have any questions.